All right, guys, how's it going? Now, before I get into this video, I just want to let you know I'll be live on here today at 4 o'clock UK time if you want to come along for a natter about all things LFC. There's also some mail stand videos coming up today for channel members. If you want to check those out, make sure you have a channel membership and you can see them. Now, they'll also be posted on the VIP members website behind me at some point today. And if you join the live stream, you know, I always sort of like skirt around things a little bit. All right, so that's my schedule for today. What I wanted to talk to you is the managerial situation at Liverpool Football Club. And I received an email here, right in front of me right now, that I cannot read to you on the mail stand or divulge at all. And it tells me that I can't do that, right? However, it does enable me. There's screenshots in this email from conversations that are clearly identifiable. I just can't go over this email with you, right? But I can use it to form opinions and to talk to you about general chatter that may be doing the rounds. Now, in a mail stand email today, this talks about Gerrard being approached. I'm going to go over this in a separate video. This came in yesterday at 10 a.m. UK time, saying that Gerrard was approached last night about coming in for a short time. And this is not because of sacking Slot, more to do with him resigning. In other words, a suggestion that he could actually resign from his position. Talks of the day when it could happen, you know, like this is just an example, by Thursday, by Friday, something like that. In other words, things happening behind the scenes. I don't know if you've noticed, there's been a bit of chatter concerning other managers as well, other potential candidates coming in, you know, possibles. I would say I've seen probably 3, including Alonso, being mentioned with us, and we've had mail stand emails about all of them over the time, you know, the last couple of months or whatever. I think the club has to do that. I think the club has to, you know, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. It's common sense. You know, you don't need to be ITK to know these kind of things, right? So to me, this is just like, I'm just giving you my opinion in this video, right? And my opinion is that, and I've stuck to this opinion for a very long time, and it doesn't change after a win or a defeat, is that Arne Slot's toast. I can't see him staying at Liverpool. I think the only way he would stay at Liverpool if he won the Champions League. I think Xabi Alonso is absolutely under consideration. I do believe that. I think Jose Felix Diaz, who, you know, if you follow my channel for a while, he's the closest journalist to Real Madrid here in Spain. Very credible guy. He's adamant that, you know, Liverpool have sounded out Alonso, and that was a while ago now, probably a couple of months ago or something. I think there's going to be significant changes in the summer, you know, regarding the whole structure of the club. You know, these are not opinions I'm coming out with you now just because Richard Hughes has been linked with Saudi, or because there's been, you know, a piece published about Edwards being frustrated. A term that I told you, God, it must be 6 months or more. Do you remember? That was the exact term that I said to you, that Edwards was frustrated. That's because I'd seen that in WhatsApp conversations. And I was mentioning videos to do with Edwards, and I was saying to you, frustrated. And I needed to make sure that you heard that single word, because it was the one that kept being repeated, right? Frustrated about FSG not getting the second club, if you like. And I emphasize, if you came to my live streams or you watch my videos with Edwards, it was frustrated. What did we see the other day? That article by James Pearce, I believe, at The Athletic, saying he was frustrated. All right. So, you know, I've had these opinions about change and the structure of the club for months, as my long-term viewers will tell you, even when things have been more positive. All right. So I do think that everything's going to change. My advice to you would be to keep an eye on the betting markets. Now, I haven't looked at this. Now, I found with football betting, let me just see this. I'm going to put next. See, I don't rehearse my videos or script them. Next Liverpool manager betting odds. Let's see what comes up. It's coming up with odds checker. Where am I? I want the UK, please. Give me my own language. I can't be doing with Spanish. I can understand it, but anyway. All right, here we go. What does all that mean? Let me click on that. Oh, I see. Right, there's the different companies along the top. I get it. Shit, how do you get rid of it? Hide. There we go. Okay, Bet365. That's who I use. Right, so what I want you to, what I found with football betting over the years is it's not usually a good indicator of what's going to happen, right? Because people bet, when it comes to football, they bet with their heart, not their head, right? Whereas when it's like a horse race, maybe you study the form of the horse, maybe, you follow credible things and stuff like that. With football, there's a lot of rumours, a lot of speculation, and a lot of passion. And, over the years, I've backed Liverpool blindly in nearly every game that I've ever had a bet on Liverpool, and they always lose when I back them. So I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that you trust the markets, right? Because if you think about it, the last time there was speculation surrounding a new manager at Liverpool, Xabi Alonso was the shortest favourite for the job, and Arne Slot came in from nowhere, right? And I think we were doing reviews of it every day, weren't we? Like the different odds. The one I want you to keep an eye on is Steven Gerrard, right? I want you to keep an eye on Steven Gerrard's betting odds, right? Now, I'm not implying here, this is the bit where you've got to really pay attention, because when people say things like that, they jump to conclusions. Dunk said that Gerrard's going to be... No, let me explain, right? Just because I'm saying keep an eye on Steven Gerrard's betting odds doesn't mean that I think he's about to become the next manager of Liverpool. But what I do believe is there's quite a lot of people, without being specific, that feel that he could be appointed the Liverpool manager. And when they hear that, people will lump on. So I've got a feeling Steven Gerrard's odds are going to come down. I really do. I'm getting more and more emails about Steven Gerrard, through the mail stand. I think I've posted on here on the members website today. In fact, I'm happy to just quickly refresh my memory about this. I want to get it exactly right. What's all this? Okay, I've got so many things going on, guys. What was I looking for? Members website. If you are a VIP member, by the way, massive shout out to you. Thank you for being an absolute hero. If you want to join the members website, the link's in the video description, I think. But you don't need to. This isn't a ploy to get you on there, because I'm going to tell you what it says. So, you will see here, it says Steven Gerrard. Do you see that? Yeah. So I posted about Steven Gerrard on there today. I'm not sure what everybody's saying, but let's go back to my original post. Based on information received, I'm currently keeping an eye on Steven Gerrard's odds to become the next manager of Liverpool. I can't disclose further, but I get the impression that his odds may shorten a little. I want to be clear that I am by no way implying that he's about to be handed the job either temporarily or permanently, but that I feel there's substantial chatter from people close to him that could see people make this assumption in the city that would cause his odds to shift. I am led to believe that the club have considered replacing Slot with Gerrard until the summer, but that they feel that this could be problematic due to his popularity. In other words, if they wanted to bring someone in during the summer permanently, it could create negativity from the fan base if Gerrard was then removed, especially if he was doing well. Slot is not safe despite the likes of Ornstein suggesting such. He said the club was steadfastly behind Slot, yet there's no sign of a contract extension. I've been saying for months that significant changes are ahead this summer, and I still believe that to be the case. So basically kind of reiterating what I've just said anyway, really. But the bit that I wanted to mention here was, I am led to believe that the club have considered replacing Slot with Gerrard until the summer, but that they feel this could be problematic due to his popularity. That came from someone exceptionally connected to Liverpool Football Club at a very senior level. And what that means is, if they've got to pull the trigger now, they've thought about pulling the trigger now, right? I firmly believe that, okay? I think that all along they've not wanting to do that. They would rather do it in the summer. But I think that they've looked at the possibility of, what if we do it now? Can we put an interim in charge until the summer? So what they're saying is, you could put Gerrard in there to rally that, get everyone fired up and stuff like that. But we actually do want to have, we've got someone lined up for the job permanently that we would like to appoint as our manager for the next 6 years or something. But then does it become a problem if you appoint Steven Gerrard, right? I was going to start doing a song chanting that, right? If you appoint Steven Gerrard and he's popular or does well, and then they go, well, we're replacing him because we got this guy that we wanted. And the people would be like, why are you doing that? He's won every fucking game since he's come in. It kind of puts them in a tricky situation, I feel. That's what I've been told. And it kind of makes sense. So coming as an interim, hey, if you do really well, you might get the job. That happens at many clubs. But what I think that they're looking at here, this is what I'm hearing, is that, hey, we could maybe put an interim in place, but we still have someone in mind to appoint in the summer. Which brings you on to the next bit of, well, why would you wait until the summer to appoint them? Why not appoint them now? If they've got this person in mind, why not appoint them now? Which makes me then speculate and think, is that relating to Alonso because of his contractual separation from Real Madrid, that he can't do anything until the summer? Do you get my drift? Or it could just be that they don't know who they want. They will make that decision in the summer from the three names, for example, that we've already been, given a good idea of who might be in the running if there wasn't a vacancy. At the moment, there isn't a vacancy, right? But these are all planning and contingency and things that have to happen behind the scene. And it kind of makes sense. I have got multiple emails, messages surrounding Gerrard a lot in the last week, to be honest with you. And I think you might see his odds tumble as a result of that, because I think people are then going to put two and two together and go, oh, I'll have a bet on that. So keep an eye on it. I ain't got time to keep an eye on it. I mean, I suppose I can. I've got the page open. I could just leave it on there. Try and get a mental price in it. But I can understand why people would have a bet on it. Like, even when I've seen some of the things, when I heard something from someone very high ranking that I would trust with my life, and I was like, maybe I'll have a tenner on it. But I'm not really sure how it works. I mean, I always thought it was just like next permanent manager. How does it work if it's an interim? If it's next manager, then fine, maybe. But yeah, I'm just clicking on the screen to see if I could get Liverpool. They say next permanent manager, so it wouldn't work then, would it? But sometimes people don't think like that. See, I'm thinking like that. If you're not experienced with betting, you might go, oh, Steven Gerrard, next manager, I'll have a tenner on that. And then he's like appointed as the interim, and it's like, where's my winning? No, permanent manager. I guess each bookie will be different. So that's my latest thoughts on everything, guys. Maybe I'm a little bit vague with some things, but that's because some people don't want everything to be out there, because sometimes it's, it could be, your job could be at risk from divulging things. Listen, right, so I work for the club now, right? In the boardroom, if you like. And I am friends with the players, coaching staff, fans, right? And I know things that some of the players don't know about them, and some of the things that the fans that normally you would talk to about the fans, they might comment to me and go, say something, and I might already know the answer to it. That they might go, oh, I wonder what's going to happen with, and I already know what's happening. So sometimes you're like, sometimes you can't say anything, and sometimes people have knowledge and want to share it. Obviously, I've done Cop Talk for a long time now, nearly 30 years, and over that time, you do get people that come to you and go, look, listen, I need you to know it's fucking dunk, it's doing me head in, right? And of course, when it's a new person that contacts me, I always, work out who they are, do a bit of digging and shit like that. Should I listen to this person? What I've done over the years is, before I really get into believing a claim to do with Liverpool, is I like to hear it when I've heard it from 3 different people that are not aligned with each other, don't know each other, 2 people minimum. But if someone said to me, like, obviously there's a lot of people that work for the club and are third party, contractors for the club, doesn't necessarily know that they mean each other, right? And obviously working for a club, you could be the top of the chain or lower down the club, making it all work, So sometimes you can use common sense to work out things. But when you start to hear the same thing from 2 or 3 people, you really do, your ears prick up. You're like, someone got something in there. So I get the vibe that Gerrard's odds, I wouldn't be surprised me if people were talking about Steven Gerrard over the next couple of weeks, depending on results and that. And then someone says, comes on one of my live streams, have you seen Steven Gerrard's odds have dropped? I'll be like, all right. I just get the feeling that people think he's going to be given the job. So just watch it. That's all I'm saying to you, just watch it. If you're not sure what the fuck I'm talking about, come along to a live stream at 4 o'clock today, UK time, and I will talk to you as best as I can about it. But I want to be clear. I've already said it verbally, and I've already read it from the members' website where I said, I am not implying that he's about to be handed the job. Normally, if someone says, what's his odds come crashing down, people would assume that means, because he's been told he's going to... No. I think people think that's what's going to happen. And it's who those people are that are thinking it. All right? All right, I'll leave it with you. All right? I know it might not be very exciting or very helpful, but this is the real world, right? The ITK stuff's too clear sometimes. It's too very matter of fact, isn't it? Have you not noticed that? Yeah? They had a high-level meeting at 10 a.m. this morning outside Greg's. Very detailed. Sometimes you get information, people go, I fucking don't know where it was, mate, or when it was, but I'm telling you right now, sometimes things are very, very vague. And sometimes things have to be vague. But what it says to me is that they are considering changing things, despite people like Ornstein saying they aren't, right? And I don't know if I went over it in my morning briefing or not, but I'm sure I basically said I think there's going to be, I think there's going to be significant changes at the club this summer. And I've said that for months anyway, all right? So it's not something new. Leave me a comment. I hope the comments on this video go, I'm lost. I hope someone fucking works it out. All right, I'll speak to you in a bit. Here comes the grift. If you enjoyed my video, if you want to support my channel, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. There's a love heart under the video if you want to support the channel. Without the support of the love heart, the super thanks and the channel memberships, I can't do this channel. It's the truth. I always give a shout out to everyone that uses the super thanks. There's 3 links in the video description as well. Revolut's my beer kitty for Saturdays. Yes, we're on the grift for Saturday already. Yeah, that's it really. I think there's a link for the members website in the video description as well. It's a good place to hang out if you'd love to come on board with us. In fact, if you jump on the members website today, you'll see what I posted and what people are saying about it. But that's not a ploy for you to go on there. I'm sure if you wanted to be a VIP member, you would already be if you were in a position to be, if you wanted to be. So I never push stuff like that on people, to be honest with you. So. All right then, I'll leave it with you. I'll see you live at 4 o'clock today. All right, there's certain things that I can't really go more detailed into at the moment, but I can certainly answer questions and you can pick up from my mood. All right, see you on a live stream.